What's going on, everybody? What did you guys think about that last episode of Rick and Morty? It was pretty freaking good. Honestly, I didn't think I would like it more than the one with the Vindicators, but I actually did. Poor Jerry. Just this sad little man. I mean, he is just getting pulled in every direction, and honestly, I kind of don't feel that bad for him. But they kind of just shit on him in this episode. They really do. Even from the beginning, him getting dragged out of bed, and then Rick saying that this is like a pity adventure. And then Rick telling him that if he made him pants, the pants that Rick made would be better than anything Jerry owns. I mean, just come on. It's so sad. But what I love is that when they decide that they don't have to go on this adventure for Morty, Rick just takes him to a place where he doesn't have to worry about Jerry getting hurt, because that's probably what Jerry would get into, is some bullshit and get himself killed. That's the whole reason they have that Jerry daycare, remember? But other than Jerry, Summer. I freaking loved what they did with Summer in this episode, because as much as they're going to say that it wasn't supposed to be that, we all know that when she made herself huge because she wanted stripper titties, this was a freaking Attack on Titan thing, right? I mean, I freaking love this. I know that this is supposed to play into the whole thing, that this is kind of related to the Fly reference they make about Jeff Goldblum. Back when they're in the bar and then Rick is like, hey, big chill, and the guy's face looks like Jeff Goldblum's face. If you guys haven't seen the Fly movie, it was kind of a horror movie back in the day, and it was freaking good. I mean, I loved it, but that's because I saw it when I was a kid, so it was terrifying back then. He steps into like a teleporter with a fly, and then he comes out, he starts turning into a fly, he goes crazy. But what's good about this episode is that it doesn't just reflect on the fact that Jerry is a sad sack. It's not just about Summer trying to get stripper titties turning into an Attack on Titan monster. It also shows Beth just fucking up. This entire episode has things about everyone, even if it's just small things. And Beth is just, I thought Jerry was the person that I disliked the most in this show, and Beth is just taking the cake this episode.
Is that what this is about? Like you want to prove yourself?
Oh, it's not about anything, Morty. How dare you?
Okay, good, then I'll just call. Ow!
Morty, I need this.
But back to Rick and Jerry. After the whole thing with the whirly-dirly and Jerry failing to get Rick killed for those guys, remember how Rick says that Jerry isn't actually a sad sack, he's a predator? That he uses the fact that he's pathetic and people want to take care of him as a way to survive? This reminded me of the episode Big Trouble in Little Sanchez. Remember where he's Kid Rick and then Beth and Jerry have to go to this marriage counselors thing out in space, and they have these versions of themselves that manifest, and the worm Jerry works for the monster Beth. He's just like her slave. Because really, without Jerry being, this little manipulative slug thing, Beth would have never been able to escape that cage. And I actually don't have anything for this, guys. This is just funny. This is the perfect fucking metaphor for Jerry's life, getting hit in the face with balls. I mean, I loved it. It was hilarious. Moving on, we have the tech that is inside of Rick's body. We know that this isn't C-137 Rick's real body because it was destroyed in episode 1. And we know that he jumped from body to body in that episode. So these might be some enhancements that were already in that body from the end of the episode. Or it's possible that he just cloned another body and then he put those enhancements in it himself. If you guys remember, he's cloned bodies before. He had bodies for different ages. It was again in that same episode, Big Trouble in Little Sanchez. He turns into Little Rick, and when we see him go down into his lab, he has these test tubes with a bunch of different Rick bodies. So it's possible he did those enhancements himself. But I just like the fact that it doesn't matter when they throw these things at us. They could throw it at any time. There's always some ridiculous explanation earlier in the seasons.
It's back to the drawing board! Grandpa's back, baby! Grandpa's! Oh man, I gotta pick up your parents. They have been blowing me up.
And then we have the LSD trip that Rick goes on. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when Rick was breastfeeding, there was a picture of Bird Person and Beth on the mantle. I don't really think that means anything. I just think that was something that was there just to be like, oh dang, hey, look at that. That was cool. But after the LSD trip, we finally get to see the upgrades. And did anyone else love the fact that part of the upgrades is a suction cup gun? And he even had the whole robot magnification eye. It was freaking with a suction. Why? Why did you need the suction cup gun? It should have been a laser and just killed the guy. But no, that was hilarious too. But look, probably my favorite moment of this episode, which, I mean, there were a lot of moments. There was the moment where Rick was shitting on Jerry. There was the whole finding out the immortality field. There was the Jeff Goldblum reference. I loved it. But the best, for me personally, was Morty going hella dark this season.
Hey, it's okay. Sit down. You made my sister cry, Ethan. You messed with her body image.
Look, Morty.
Shh. Careful, Ethan. Your s'more is burning.
Morty is going hella dark. Are we sure this is even the Rick and Morty that we're used to watching? Because this looks like his descent into evil Morty. It really does. And then they ended the episode with that transmogrified dickhead who hurt Summer. And it looks like he is never gonna be the same again. He really does look like freaking, like he went through the teleporter in the Fly movie. Just, it's sad. But it's not as sad as the fact that my feels were hurt when the immortality field went down and that dude killed his sister. For real.
Lisa?
This season is getting hella dark. I mean, it is getting so freaking dark. I don't know how much more of this I could take, but I definitely want to find out. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode, and if you think it's just going to get darker from here on out. Do you think that this is maybe Morty is going to get close to becoming evil Morty? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll see you guys later on in the next video. Goodbye.